In life, it's easy for a small inconvenience to grow into a storm of sadness. Yet, we also meet people who remain calm, even when life throws heavy challenges their way. They don't collapse under pressure. Instead, they expand their hearts so much that sorrow can no longer find a place to rest. Today's story reminds us, if your heart is small, even the tiniest trouble can make you bitter. But when your heart grows large and grateful, even the hardest moments will lose their weight. So, take a quiet moment and find a reflection of your own life in this story. Listen carefully. This story is not just for the ears, but for the heart. Once, there was a young woman named Lena, who often felt unsatisfied with everything around her. She complained about her job, her friends, and even small daily inconveniences. The more she complained, the heavier her heart became. One morning, after a long week of frustration, Lena decided to visit the countryside for a break. She wandered aimlessly along a quiet path until she came across a small roadside tea stall run by an old woman with kind eyes. The aroma of fresh tea drifted through the air. Lena sat down, hoping the calm of nature might help her breathe again. The old woman poured her a cup of tea and asked gently, "You seem troubled, child. What's weighing on your heart?" Lena sighed and said, "I feel like everything is going wrong. My heart feels tired and bitter all the time. How can I find peace?" The old woman smiled, but said nothing. After a moment, she brought out two items: a small mug and a large pot filled with warm tea. "Take a pinch of sugar," she said, handing Lena a small bowl of sugar crystals, and drop it into your mug. Lena followed. The old woman then said, "Now taste it." Lena took a sip and frowned. "It's barely sweet at all," she said. "Good," the old woman replied. "Now, take another handful of sugar and pour it into the large pot." Lena did as she was told. The old woman stirred it slowly, then poured some tea from the pot into a new cup and said, "Now taste this one." Lena took a sip and smiled in surprise. "It's perfectly sweet." The old woman nodded. "You see, my dear, the amount of sugar didn't change much, but the space it entered did. Gratitude in life works the same way. A thankful heart is like this big pot. It can dissolve bitterness easily, but if your heart is as small as that little mug, even a pinch of worry or disappointment will make everything taste unpleasant." She continued, "Pain and joy are both parts of life, just like sugar and tea. When your heart is narrow, small problems will taste overwhelming. But when your heart is wide, full of patience, compassion, and thankfulness, even big problems lose their sting. Everyone faces hardship. No one escapes pain. But if you fill your heart with gratitude, life becomes sweeter no matter how difficult the circumstances. When you keep focusing only on what's missing, you make your heart smaller. But when you start being thankful for what you already have, your heart expands, and peace naturally follows. The old woman smiled warmly and said, "So remember, when bitterness enters your life, don't shrink into a small mug. Become like a great pot of tea, warm, generous, and full of sweetness." That day, Lena left with more than just tea in her heart. She carried wisdom, and from then on, whenever life felt heavy, she whispered to herself, "Be the big pot, not the small mug." If this story has brought even a little warmth to your heart, share it with someone who needs it. Thank you.